The Colorado Anti-Violence Program has been dedicated to eliminating violence within and against lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer communities throughout Colorado since 1986.
At CAVP, we fight for safety, justice, and healing for all LGBTQ communities.
We raise consciousness and build leadership from our communities.
Our anger is justified.
We use art and culture to lift up our voices and stories of resilience.
We organize and mobilize LGBTQ community power to make change.
We dare to create the organizations, communities, and world we want to live in. CAVP's advocacy program supports the well-being of survivors by creating opportunities for healing and transformation. We connect with hundreds of survivors every year, either through our 24-hour hotline or in person. One of the ways that we support survivors is through our 24-hour hotline. This is a statewide number where folks can get in touch with an advocate with the Colorado Anti-Violence Program to talk through options, get resources, do some safety planning, and just get emotional support. Talking with one of our advocates can help to navigate complex systems, identify resources, create a plan for safety and support, and help reduce isolation. With our strategic collaborations and strong volunteer support, CAVP is able to expand our advocacy programming to include more options for survivors that go beyond the moment of crisis. Here are some of those initiatives. We know that holistically supporting survivors of violence means moving beyond the moment of crisis and providing other opportunities for wellness and healing. We've partnered with the Denver Community Health Collective to offer survivors an opportunity to work with practitioners from the collective more broadly on issues of wellness and healing. We know that a criminalization model has been a failed strategy for the anti-violence movement, so it's imperative that anti-violence groups develop stronger alternatives. This work asks us to gather together to develop more thoughtful, grounded, creative responses to violence in our communities. These community-based solutions build on our connection and caring rather than relying on solutions that separate families and create disconnection from community. CAVP is excited to continue to build on the work that's already happening in our community and continue to build these strong alternative models. The Colorado Anti-Violence Program has had a long history of supporting transgender and gender nonconforming survivors who need access to emergency housing shelter options in the state of Colorado. We're committed to continuing that work to ensure that all survivors in our community have access to the emergency and safe shelter options that they need.
Our training and organizing project works to build culture and policy shift within service providers, organizations, and communities across Colorado. This work is made possible by our dedicated team of trainers, youth members, and volunteers who reach thousands of individuals and community organizations every year. Our newest training and organizing campaign is working with local youth sexual health and reproductive health care providers to ensure that all young people have access to safe, relevant, and equitable care. Our training and organizing program works across the state with local domestic violence shelters and homeless shelters to ensure that all LGBTQ people have access to safe shelter and housing. Our communities often face some of the highest rates of homelessness. When LGBTQ folks try to access shelter in Colorado, all too often they are denied. Our training and organizing program ensures that all survivors can access shelter without the fear of experiencing transphobia and homophobia when trying to seek shelter.
BSeeds is a powerful space created by and for young queer people of color to come together in sharing our life's work towards self-determination, cultural and community building, and bringing an end to all violence in and against our LGBTQ communities. We use strategies of community organizing, arts and media, action research, and direct action to spark dialogue, educate, and empower young people to take action. These are a few of the projects we're involved in. Wild Seeds is a circle of youth who lead the vision, action, and decision-making of Branching Seeds of Resistance. The Strong Families RAD Summit is a national cohort of youth leaders that work on issues of race, gender, and sexuality. BCs is helping with the planning of that summit happening next year in February. Sex Inquiries is the reproductive justice branch of BCs. It involves youth-led media making, education and organizing, culture and policy shift in order to push LGBTQ relevant and inclusive comprehensive sex education and to increase safety for LGBTQ youth accessing resources. Rainbow Warriors is a film project created by and for young, queer, and two-spirit people of color to portray the resiliency of our community in response to the physical and emotional effects of suicide. Get Your Rights is a national network and campaign that is developing Know Your Rights toolkits and projects to combat police and state violence that impacts our communities. As we move forward, we will continue to build a base of young queer revolutionaries locally and nationally who are committed to fighting for safety and justice in our lives, for our families, and our communities.